Okay, because so now that I'm not a part of the club, I'm an issue. Now they want to say I'm a problem. I got fed up with everybody talking down to me when I was a nice person. And I told them, keep pushing me, you keep pushing me, and you won't like what I become. And they didn't listen. Now they got to deal with the monster they created. So, looking at these people, these are. See, I always thought that the Trump deranged syndrome was just a name they were, labeling these people to make fun of them. And I thought it was pretty fucking hilarious. But this is what they're really talking about. These people are crazy. How did they get this way? Why are they talking about they fear for their lives? Like, what have y'all been told? So I did some digging and I found this.
You are going into a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood. And it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why, to say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me.
Some space for me? Why the fuck is this so-called therapist telling people to isolate themselves around the holidays when they're going through such a traumatizing event? Do you know what the rate of suicide is around the holidays? It's the highest. And then you're going to tell these people who are obviously distraught, unhinged, to be alone, to isolate themselves. To all y'all out there that are on the left, does this sound like something that you even want to do? Look at your life right now and tell me, in the last 4 years, how has your life gotten better since Joe Biden and Harris took office? Most of y'all on here saying we can't go another 4 years like this. You're right. We can't go another 4 years like this as has been underneath a Biden and Harris administration. You cannot blame Donald Trump for the last 4 years when this nigga ain't even been in office. This is not his administration. This is Biden-Harris administration. This is their doing. And now they're telling you guys to isolate. The way somebody votes should not tear apart relationships or friendships. Understand that. It should not tear apart your friendship. Do you like this person? Do you think this person is a good person? How long have you been friends with them? Have they ever caused you harm? Do you love this person? And you're going to let mainstream media tear that relationship apart over a vote? That's the thing about America. We are allowed to disagree with one another, but that doesn't mean that we can't be around one another. This is supposed to be the party to unite people. Why is it encouraging you guys to be more separated than ever? I'm serious. That's a problem. This is a professional, supposedly, telling y'all to isolate away from the people you care about and that care about you. Don't do it. Don't listen to these people. It's sad. It's like a cult. And you always hear, oh, MAGA, it's a cult. No. This is more like cult behavior. These reactions and what this therapist, she told y'all to isolate away from your friends and your family. That's more cult behavior. One of the reactions said, that she fears for her life and her friend's life. Another one said that she don't know how she's going to go to work and function normally. The last lady said that she and her husband have come up with a plan to get out. Out of what? I'm a MAGA supporter. Majority of my family voted for Harris. But you know what they're not going to do? They're not going to make me feel not welcome. Because at the end of the day, we're family. I still love them. They still love me. We're still going to laugh and be merry together for these holiday seasons. Don't listen to these people who are trying to tell you not to be around your friends and your family. That is a cult type bullshit that you don't need. You don't have to listen to them. Let me tell you something. You are an American. Whether you voted left or right, you're an American. And the mainstream media does not have the right to lie to the American people, to give you false information, to put you in a state of fear or emotional distress. I'd be suing. I'd be suing the shit out of MSNBC, The View, fucking Joy Reid, who is a witch. Look at her. Look at her and how she's transforming. This bitch looks creepier and creepier every time I see her. That's who you're going to listen to? Look, I don't think that all people that voted for Harris are bad people. I don't. Maybe a lot of them are a little crazy, but it's because you have been brainwashed. It's because they have been telling you false information, taking things out of context to make you live in fear. That is not something that the mainstream media, any media, has a right to do. I would be suing the shit out of them for emotional distress because you can prove that the shit that they're saying that made you fear for your life is false. You can prove it. If you need me to provide you with the resources to prove that they were giving you false information, I will do it. I can debunk half the shit that y'all been told. I'd sue the shit out of them. The media's job is to just report the news as it is. Not to put a spin on it, not to cause emotional distress, not to make people fear for their lives, not to make people feel out of control of their emotions, not to make people feel like they can't function. If it is affecting the way you function on a day-to-day basis, sue the fuck out of them. I would. All of the mainstream media, they got the money. They'll probably settle out of court. I would equip myself with the knowledge that I need. And I would sue the shit out of them. Because you guys are Americans too. You don't have to walk around living in fear because of lies that you've been told by your media. They don't have the right to do that to you. No matter what. No matter if you are a Harris supporter, as a fellow American, I still love you. We are all citizens here in America. We all gonna have disagreements. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is going to agree with everything another person, thinks or values or feels. But there's one thing that we can agree on, that we are Americans and our media ain't got no right to fucking make us feel fearful. Our media doesn't have the right to lie to us to the point to where we can't function, to the point to where we feel emotionally distraught. We can agree on that because we are all free. We all live in a democracy, and our media is just supposed to report the news, the truth, and they're not. They are lying. If you need me to provide you with resources showing that the mainstream media has lied and made you fear for your life, I will do it. just so you can sue the shit out of them and heal yourself. This is a brainwashing cult, is what they've done to you. And you don't deserve that shit because you're an American. Joy Reid, The View, them bitches ain't got no right to do what they have done to the left American people. I will be suing the shit out of them. I will put their asses on notice, and I'm coming for them pockets. You don't have the right to do that to American citizens. Just calm down and think rationally, because I know you got a lot of people out there saying that you can't. And yes, I do think a lot of you are unable to control your emotions, but that's only because of the shit that you've been fed. If I have been told somebody is Hitler, and I've been shown sound bites and clips taken out of context to make it seem like this person is Hitler, and I've been told false information like he's going to take away your rights, he's going to, I don't even know half the shit that y'all been lied to about, but if I was constantly told, I'd probably believe it too. I'm more of a person that'll do my due diligence and look some shit up before I believe it. But if you are a person that relies on the media, that's your right. You have a right to rely on the media. But when that media is spreading you false information and is putting you in a state that you are in, to where you're running into walls, where you're screaming uncontrollably, to where you don't know how you're going to function and you fear for your life, and then you and your family are trying to figure out a way to escape or get out, that is a problem. Especially coming from people you cannot relate to. Those people don't give a shit about you. When they're done destroying your life, they're going to go back to their $1 million mansions, sip on their cocktails, and laugh about it. They're not going to feel sorry for what they did to you. They're not going to apologize for what they did to you. You're going to have to make them. Make them do it. It's enough of you to move mountains. There's enough of you if you get together and actually unite against the media that has done this to you. You could move that mountain. The media monster that did this to you. I'm serious. I may be a MAGA supporter, but I'm also an American citizen. And I love every single American in this country. I do. That means you too. And you don't have to be this way. You don't have to live like this. Just look it up, find out the truth, and do what you need to do to teach the mainstream media a fucking lesson that you don't fuck with American citizens, no matter who they vote for. Okay? And you don't get to dictate my livelihood. You don't get to tell me what to believe. You don't get to control what I think or how I feel. You just report the fucking news, the truth. And if you don't like it, you can get the fuck out. If there's one thing I know the left can do, the people that consider themselves on the left, if there's one thing you can do is cancel a bitch. I mean, when that whole cancel culture thing took over the internet, y'all was canceling bitches left and right. Don't look. The abilities and the powers that you have are for you to use at your disposal, not for them to use. They're using you to fulfill their agenda. They don't have a right to do that. I think that you should use your abilities to your benefit. And I think it would benefit everybody if the mainstream media can't get their asses in line and report the truth. Then they can get the fuck on somewhere. You do not get to treat Americans like this. You do not get to brainwash Americans. You do not get to fuck with Americans, period. If there's one thing to unite a people more, it is one common enemy. And I think that we can all agree left, right, middle, up, down, blue, black, green, white. I think we can all agree that the media has lost their fucking mind, that the media is out of fucking control, and they need to be taught a lesson. You can either do your job or you can get the fuck gone. And I don't know anybody that could cancel a people more than the left. See, we all have our purposes. We all have our weaknesses. And we all have our strength. Where you're weak, I'll be strong for you. And I'm weak, you'll be strong for me. That's called the United States of America, ruled by the American people. We all lost sight of that. We truly have. We've lost sight of it. And it's time that we take our power back away from the media. I'm going to make another video of all the things that you were told that are not true. And then I'm going to provide you with actual evidence that it was a lie. So you can see. Now, if you look at it, you see the facts, and you still choose not to believe it, well, then I don't know what you're going to do. But you have at least the right to know the truth. Because you see this, I'm not okay with you feeling this way. This bothers me. I'm not okay with the people that made you feel this way. Why? Because you're an American. I don't give a shit about what side you're on. You're an American at the end of the day. When you see people in need, you don't stop and say, wait a minute, what side are you on, left or right? No, we don't do that. When you see somebody in need, you just help them, because that's what we do. We care about one another. And when you can go from a rational, caring American citizen to this, that's not okay. And the person that did this needs to be held accountable. Period. When you need help, I'm there for you. And I'd hope that if I need help, you be there for me. They don't give a shit about us. The media got paid to do what they're doing. They're getting paid to use the American people. And yes, they're American citizens too, but they're of a different hierarchy. There's different levels to this shit. The government, the media, the masses. They think that they're above all of us. And they are controlling us. But we don't have to let them do that, do we? No, we don't. Just look at the campaign now that the dust is settled. It was ran off of hate. Hate Donald Trump. That's it. You know it, and I know it. We all fucking know it. And I don't want to hear the talking points that you have been fed to defend the Harris and Biden administration or the future Harris administration. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that Donald Trump is a racist. No, he's not. Donald Trump has done more for the black community than the last 3 Democratic presidents combined. Yeah, and that's including your precious Obama, who has lied to the black people of America, who has done nothing for our communities. What they do is they come in, pander to us to get our vote, and then once they win, we ain't shit. In the next video that I make, I'm going to give you the proof of what I'm saying. I don't want to hear Donald Trump hates women. I've already told you that the abortion thing was handed to the states, which is what you asked for. I don't want to hear how he calls them names. He calls women that he don't like names. Are you trying to sit here and tell me you ain't never called a woman you don't like a bitch, skank, hoe, thought, stupid, ignorant, retarded? You ain't never called a woman that you don't like a name in your life. You can't bullshit a bullshitter. Let's just keep it real. He's not a politician. He's a businessman. I don't give a fuck how much money he has. Donald Trump is the only president in history who didn't take the presidential pay. I think he collected $1 for tax purposes. The rest he donated to charity. Yes. What you need to understand is that you have the right to know the truth. I'm just not okay as an American citizen, my fellow Americans, being emotionally distraught like this. It's not okay. It's not. But we can make it okay. And they will listen. We just have to come together. And I'll end with this. At the end of the day, Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Reid, all the ladies on The View, all of mainstream media, they're not like you. You can't even relate to those people. Why? Because while they're telling you to fear for your life, while they're telling you that you need to isolate this holiday, they're going home to their mansions with their millions of dollars, pleased with themselves. They're not going to be distraught. They're not fearing for their lives. They don't really give a fuck about women's rights. They are millionaires. They cannot relate to the everyday American like you and I. If you did a little research, this is why Donald Trump won, because he spoke to the average American. He didn't have celebrities that we can't relate to. We can't relate to Beyonce's millionaire ass. She ain't struggling like you and I. We can't relate to J-Lo, who's getting married every 6 seconds with her millionaire ass, going to her mansion, not struggling to put food on the table. She's not pumping her own gas. Ain't none of them celebrities. Oprah, she's a fucking billionaire. This bitch probably ain't touched a doorknob or a door handle in years. They cannot relate to us. Donald Trump was talking to the American people. Why do you guys keep on... At the end of the day, if you have people in your life that you love, that you care about, that has been there for you, would never see you hurting, and you don't want to see them hurting, don't let these people that you cannot relate to tell you what to do. And put their asses on notice that they do not have a right to do this to you. Teach them the lesson that they deserve. Because you're an American. I'm an American. We may have our differences, but we're more alike than we are not. I love you. And I don't want to see you guys like this. But in an election, there's a winner and there's a loser. Donald Trump won by a landslide. That means the majority of Americans did this. your fellow Americans. Those people that you're being told to isolate from, those people that you care about, those people that care about you, strangers like me that care about you because you are an American,
Kamala
did this
is at a dance party with Beyonce.
for a reason.
Beyonce.
Instead of listening to mainstream media,
Dance party with Beyonce.
who I feel like after this
Dance
is
party
on their
with
way
Beyonce.
out,
Dance party
instead
with
of listening to
Beyonce.
them,
Dance party
have a
with
conversation
Beyonce. Beyonce.
with that person you know
Beyonce. Party with Beyonce.
that voted for Donald Trump.
Beyonce.
Dialogue,
Beyonce.
healthy debate.
Dance party with Beyonce. Dance party with
That doesn't mean that
Beyonce.
you have to
Dance
kick
party
that
with
person out of your
Beyonce.
life.
Dance
I
party
promise
with
you,
Beyonce.
how they're making you feel,
Beyonce.
it's not even close to how things are gonna really be.
Party with Beyonce. Beyonce.
Carry on.
You guys stay safe out there. We all need to stick together. We got enough enemies fighting against us Americans as a whole. We don't need to be at each other. As I always say, a divided country is a weak country. A weak country is a vulnerable country. And a vulnerable country is a perfect target for our enemies. We have to stand together. That's why we're called the United States of America. God bless you.